What are your plans for developing Mount Shasta economy? Well, I'm not one for reinventing the wheel. The city over the years has adopted many plans, and it has all cost money. And it's not necessary to, every time something comes up, to pay a consultant to do a new plan. We need to, especially in the economy the way it is now, we need to just update the plans we have. As I said earlier, I was involved in the formation of the, I got ahead of myself. I was involved in the formation and adoption of the Community Action Plan. And I don't know how many of you are aware of this Community Action Plan that was adopted in 2002. It actually started in 1994, and it was a CDAC committee, and CDAC stands for City Economic Development Advisory Committee. And they worked from 1994 up until 2002, when this was formally adopted by the City Council. And I believe it's the city's Bible, because it was formulated from people like you. All the input was at public meetings, which were held at the community hall. They had posters all around the wall, and everybody would say, I want this, I want that, and it was put up there, and then there was a vote, and each person had a vote. And so with this action plan, that was actually adopted on May of 2002, the mission statement states that the mission of the Mount Shasta Community Action Plan is to maintain the character and resource of a small town community while striking an appropriate balance between economic development and preservation of our quality of life. Now your question, I'm going to read a couple excerpts out of here, which I feel, and then what I would use to answer your question if I'm on the council, is I would use this as a guideline, because it's adopted by the people of Mount Shasta. And it should be updated every 2 to 5 years. It's now been 7 years. But if I'm on the council, I'm going to suggest that we keep this plan going, because it's from the public. But the economic development fuels the generation of job opportunities, growth of the local tax base and revenues, and the vitality of the community activity. The city of Mount Shasta and the city needs to expand its tax base to generate adequate revenue to provide and maintain community improvements. The highest ranked, the city-owned Roseburg Mill site, and we're all familiar with that, it's been going on for 20 years, continues to be recognized as a valuable resource offering opportunities for the development of new businesses, tourism, attractions and accommodations, and light industry. And it goes on, and there's about 3 pages here of economic development. Again, I'll go back to, I don't like to reinvent the wheel. It's here. Let's use it. Let's update it every 2 years and let the public decide if things have changed. We get new people in town, and ideas and so forth change. So we don't want to put it or chip it into concrete. Your second question: how do you see small business fitting into the plan? Small business in Mount Shasta are a must and the backbone of this community. We, as small business people, I used to be in business, are the backbone of this community. Can you imagine all the stores being boarded up? We wouldn't have a town. So it's very important that small business is involved. As I said earlier, my wife and I used to have a small business in Mount Shasta, so I know how important a small business is. It takes a group of businesses to make a city, not just one large industry. We need to encourage small businesses through the Chamber of Commerce, the Visitors Bureau, and the city to invest and expand their business. This will enhance one's business and perhaps create a new job, and that's what we want, a few new jobs. And so I know when I was in business, one of the reasons we moved from the drugstore is to expand our business, and I hired one person, so it does make a difference. Small businesses should participate in local government plans and decisions, along with being involved in the Chamber of Commerce and other organizations. I'm glad to see this organization started. And you should get involved in city government when we have public meetings. I've been going to public meetings now for quite some time. The last meeting, there was 2 people. And so you need to get involved in public government as a small business and put in input. We have 60,000 vehicles a day passed by Mount Shasta on I-5. Small businesses must lure people off the freeway into the city and to spend money. And how do we do that? Through advertising. We can't get them into here if we don't let them know what we have. One motto, and we brought this up back in the Visitors Bureau, and I don't know if we're still using it, but one motto should be to get them to stay another day, by explaining to them what there is to do here and what is available. If you don't, and if they come into town and your business, you can be the people that explain to them what you can do here. So, are we getting close? Okay, I have a few more there. I'll get to your last question. What other issues do you see as critical? And I won't read all these, I'll just go through a few of them. And I think the most important is the existing global economy is of much concern to the city and small businesses. We need to maintain our current service levels as economically as possible, and I don't think any personal layoffs, especially in the city, is an option at this time, or even in the future. I think very important, we need to maintain our community public safety as a high level, regardless of economics. We're talking about public safety through the police department. We need to keep a close look on what the county is going to do with the funding of the library. As you know, the city owns the building, the county runs the library. I don't know what they're going to do with the economic crunch, but we need to keep a watch on that. We need to keep the library going one way or another. We need to protect and enhance the character of our downtown, our shopping center areas, and support additional commercial activity. We don't want downtown to become a liability. We want it to always be an asset as it is right now. And the Roseburg property was given to the city 20 years ago. We have spent $242,000 to date on studies for the Roseburg property. We have been, there are no projects at all. The last thing I'm going to say is we do have a request to purchase 5 acres on the Roseburg property on the northeast side, and I think the city should do everything they can to entice this owner or this business to build on the Roseburg property. It'll bring jobs. They have 16 employees right now. They plan on expanding. It'll bring money and revenues to the city, and I won't go through the rest of them because I'm running out of time. But I would like to say that I appreciate being here today, and if you do live in the city, you have to live in the city, a resident in the city, to vote for Susie or I. And so I'm going to ask you to please vote for Ned Boss come May 19th. You'll get your ballots, absentee ballots around the 20th, and so if you get them early, again, I would appreciate your vote on May 19th. Thank you very much.